edition of 5 Pounds of Gunt, the PPP and GAHOOLE wrestling review show. Unfortunately, we start off with a fucking terrible NXT show in your house.
Oh my god.
Just wasn't even fun. Like, I can understand, like, I know a couple of these pay-per-views they've done, they haven't been the best because there's no crowds, but at least with, like, Money in the Bank, the AEW Double or Nothing show, even WrestleMania, there's an attempt to make some of the stuff fun and not take it too seriously, because they know it doesn't fucking work with serious shit right now, but overall, I would say an unmitigated disaster will be a good way to describe this show. Boring beyond all hell.
The one word takeaway is just boring, sloppy, like slow, fucking just dead matches, just fucking piss poor quality in these women's matches, for fuck's sake. Why I have to sit here and watch fucking 40 minutes of women's wrestling, I'll never fucking understand.
Why? Okay, it was just 40 minutes for the main event. The fucking opening match was also like 20 fucking minutes. So it was like an hour of women's wrestling we had to fucking watch.
Oh yeah. It's fucking just dreadful. The fucking entrances alone for the women feel like they're an hour fucking long.
These this is a problem across the whole show. Not just with the women, with all the NXT entrances. They're all too fucking long. It's too much entrance stuff and not enough. Listen, the entrance works if you have an in-ring character. You have to have. It's not a substitute. The problem is they all wrestle the exact same in the ring, and their only character is when they fucking come out to the ring and they got to do their little dance and shit. And it takes 10 minutes of my life to watch some guy do a fucking dance to a crappy metal song. It's like, fuck off, dude. Wrestle as your character in the ring and portray your character in the ring. Don't waste my time with this stupid shit.
But this is the problem with NXT from the beginning is they get guys over off a fucking entrance. Like, even like No Way Jose was over his fucking entrance in NXT, right? Like, everybody just gets horny for the entrance. Like, Finn Balor was probably the first one they did, and then they did the Shinsuke shit.
Yep.
They just kept getting guys over based on their entrance, and then when they get up to the main roster, they don't know how to actually get over with the main roster crowd, and they get fucking buried. It doesn't help matters that Vince treats everybody from NXT like a pile of fucking shit. And that's why, honestly, I haven't watched NXT in a couple years, is I just realized it doesn't matter what they do with these guys in NXT, because you've seen guys that were big in NXT, supposedly over in NXT, come up, and nothing ever fucking happens with them.
The only ones who come over and get over on the main roster are the ones who weren't over in NXT. Besides me, I think the only one who kind of worked was Kevin Owens, and even then, that's just because he's doing the exact same character he's been doing since like 2010 in Ring of Honor. He hasn't changed anything. He's just doing the same shit, and they're just letting him go. Yeah. But basically, the only ones who've gotten over on the main roster are guys like, fucking Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. These guys weren't big in NXT. They just were there for developmental purposes.
NXT wasn't even like the thing that it is now when Seth Rollins was there.
No, it's not a fair comparison. But yeah, whatever the case, we've got to go through this show. So I've got some notes here, which you can't see because it's all green screened out. But I've got some notes. We'll start with the opening. The show opens up with the classic In Your House intro in 1990s. Todd Pettengill comes out. They dragged up his ass from who knows where. I like that. I like seeing Todd Pettengill. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for that era of wrestling because I wasn't alive. But,
same.
I like the voice of Todd Pettengill. He seems like kind of a cool and nice guy, so I didn't mind him coming out, but...
Yeah, for me, the whole In Your House aesthetic, I wasn't alive. Like, I've seen In Your House shows. I've gone back and watched them. But I wasn't alive. I don't care. I'm sure there's some boomers that are fucking thrilled that In Your House is back. I don't know. It is what it is. It's a decent branding.
I don't mind the nostalgia bait. And honestly, the nostalgia baiting for In Your House was the best part of the whole show because it felt the most, like, genuine. It felt the most like, oh, here's something kind of fun we're doing. And then they immediately transitioned into a shitty fucking pop metal song that sucks fucking ass. And they just have a concert song coming in here, which is fine, but like...
It just went on forever, I'm listening to this, like, I'm downstairs, I'm railing fucking tokes, I'm just smoking weed, And, like, I've been like, fuck, I've smoked, like, 5 tokes, they're still playing that shit.
It's still fucking going. And it's like, I went to go make dinner. By the time I came back, the first match hadn't started yet. In which the first match was Uh-huh. Uh,
I don't even know who these
Shotzi
people are.
Blackheart, Mia Yim, Tegan Knox versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. Um, bad match. Not much happened. Generic tag match, kind of like you'd see on a New Japan show, but not good. Or fun, and there's like no character in it at all. Bunch of spots. The worst part of the match for me, they were doing their dives over the ropes, and they had to wait for them to take turns to do the dives. Like
I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it. Every fucking match now has a dive over the fucking rope spot. Every match.
It's there to pop the live crowd, and when you're there live in like the front third row, it's kind of exciting to see. Whoa, he's going flying, or she's going flying. In this match, the problem is there was like 10 dive spots in a row, and they were all just waiting for them to do their dive spot. They didn't. There wasn't like if in real life, if you have to watch as some guy is jumping towards you, you get the fuck out of the way. And one time I can suspend my disbelief. When it's 5 times in a row, like get the fuck out the way. You know what's gonna happen.
It's just full on mongoloidism. Like the problem is I've watched so much wrestling now that like that these spots, like to me, it's so cliche. It's so it has to stop. They have to find a different way. Like on AEW, it's just unbearable. It's unbearable.
It is a problem with AEW, but I'll say this: it is worse in NXT, and sometimes it's worse on the main roster. Because listen, the AEW dive high spot stuff, it's bad. It's not great, and it happens a lot. But this is a pay-per-view main event. This is a pay-per-view show. That's one thing. Also, if like AEW, like they'll do the dive spots in the ladder match. In a ladder match where it's designed to just be like a bunch of high spots one after the other, that's one thing. This is just a fucking like normal match, and they're doing all this stupid shit, and there's like no timing to it at all. The timing is so way off, and it's just like it's somehow like AEW has a better. I'm not gonna be an AEW show. I'm not gonna be the defender here, but I'll say when it comes to this particular problem, WWE is worse at this than AEW. Like, so you think that AEW is the indie company upstart, so they'll be doing more high spot shit. But this is worse, and it's worse there because everyone who works there doesn't have any idea how to set up a wrestling match. But whatever.
No, I'll tell you this right now. I mean, I prefer Double or Nothing to this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
obviously.
I paid for Double or Nothing, and I didn't even feel that ripped off. To be honest,
This show I didn't even pay that much for because I have the network still for some reason, but I have the network mostly so I can watch old pay-per-views on my CRT. That's the only reason I have it, is for that particular reason. But okay, moving on, because we got to move on from the dive spot shit, because otherwise we'll be here all night.
Yeah.
My problem, watching this match, it became painfully obvious to me that my problem with all women's divisions in the world, and I'm not gonna. I know we had in our first debate, I was very clear that I think all women's wrestlers suck consistently across the board, and I'm not going to be complete ignoramus. There are a couple of good women's wrestlers in the world, but there's not enough for them to be. There's not enough of them for there to be a full company. Let alone, there's like maybe 2 or 3 in the whole like in all of wrestling that are kind of decent. They can have a good match together. And have a good personality and like star power to back it up. And like of the companies that are doing women's wrestling, which is AEW, NXT, WWE, and of course all the Japanese shit too, NXT probably has like the best pool of talent, but they have the worst pool of character. There's all these women are fucking nothing. Like I don't know who any of these people are. Maybe it's because I don't watch the television. But even in the match, like it's just like their characters are so lackluster and boring that I can't give a shit about them.
Can any of these motherfuckers cut an interview even? Like what the fuck?
I don't know, but we watched Candice LeRae's interview with Johnny Gargano later in the show as part of the Keith Lee package, and it's like, no, I don't care. Like, even if they can cut an interview, like, in some character, the characters that they have in NXT right now, they can't cut promos for them. Like, I don't believe that Candice LeRae is a evil person. I don't buy it. It's like watching Natalya be evil person. Like, she's just playing evil. She isn't a fucking bad guy person. It's just stupid. But there's no personality. It's not very believable. And if this is a bigger problem with AEW actually, but if you manage to get all the good women's wrestlers into one company, you can maybe have one company doing it. But there's 5 or 10, and there's just not enough. There's just not enough talent pool for it.
There's just not. I mean, you've got WWE has like nearly purchased all the women's wrestlers in the entire fucking world, other than all the Japanese ones. And then you have.
And they still put Carmella in main events. Like, it's like, okay, even WWE, they have all this talent, but even they are running out of matchups to do. They're running out. There's nothing left for them to do. It sucks.
But I'll tell you, like, the AEW women's roster is so fucking thin. We've already seen everything that they can really do, and there's nobody out there for them to get to fix it. Who are they going to get?
Like, you can maybe get Tessa Blanchard once her Impact contract expires. And also, Impact is doing women's wrestling. It's like, fucking shit, that's not good.
I'll tell you that, okay, because we're going to get into it with Killer Cross later in this shit. I really was big into Impact like 2 years ago, even a year ago. I was really excited with what they were doing. Like, they were rebuilding, and they had managed to get, like, they had Moose, they had Johnny Impact, they had Killer Cross, and they had Cage as their big four guys. They had a great tag division going on with the new LAX.
Yep.
And, and I was into it, like the LAX OGs stuff. I thought was a good storyline. But then all their talent got raided. They lost Cage. Yeah. They lost Killer Cross,
It's ironic because that's the story of Impact. It's that they have a great talent pool, but they can't do much with it. And then the bigger companies just steal it. Like, maybe not so much now, but like last year, WWE's roster was like 90% ex-Impact guys or something. It's ridiculous. It's like, you don't think Impact's supposed to be like the minor leagues. And it's like all the current WWE talent's just ex-Impact guys. There's like, they haven't been able to build anyone up. They had to leech off Impact stars for their fucking programming, but...
Well, the reality of it is that Impact 10 years ago was bringing in as many viewers sometimes as Raw is today.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think Raw was 1.5 million in the third hour this week. And Impact it got better ratings than fucking AEW or NXT does. Even combined, it got better ratings than both of them. It's not good.
That's what I'm saying. And what people were like, TNA was a failure. Well, compared to this shit, like,
TNA was a failure not in ratings or programming, but in business management, behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
That fucking Dixie Carter ruined that company, along with a variety of other management changes.
She was a dumb twat, and she fucked it up. She really did. But what can you do? But now, you have all these same people who said Impact was shit, and they fucking buried it to the ground. Are now like sucking AEW's penis and demanding I go along with AEW as the revolution, like it's going to change something. But it's literally just TNA with like a new paint on it, basically.
Yeah. TNA with new paint and new guys and a little bit more money behind it. But even then, it's like, But I'll say this: I continually am still watching Dynamite every week. I have not been watching Raw and SmackDown every week.
Yeah,
and I haven't.
I watch the AEW shows. I don't watch Raw or SmackDown. I don't even really watch NXT most weeks.
I don't.
I haven't.
It's just not fun. I don't know why. It's just I can't. It's mostly because it's too much effort right now, and it's like I only have enough effort in my life for a certain amount of wrestling. And it's probably about 2 hours a week. And at least with AEW, it's a one storyline, it's a one show thing. I don't have to watch any of their other bullshit to get it. But
well, I was watching NWA Power for a while when it first came out, but then they fired Cornette and they said fuck them.
Yeah, and then NWA Power isn't even airing right now because it's fucking. They're not filming, even though they have the best excuse to do studio shows because they have their studio and they can just pipe in crowd noise. It would probably be like a very similar experience, and they would have very little issue. But they're not doing shows at all. So I guess if that's their choice, that's their choice. Whatever. Anyways, Nox pins Kai after the shiniest wizard for the finish of this match because we can't be cool. We have to be fucking internet lame shit.
Shiniest wizard. Oh fuck this match. Like I want to give it like a star, and I'm gonna give it like 2 stars out of 5. It was just very sloppy and very basic, and fucking there were botches throughout it. I don't know. It's just not for me. No,
this was not a good match. It wasn't the worst match on the card though, which was a shocker to me because I thought this was going to be. By every right, it should have been, but it was not. We'll save that for. God, I think we had that. We'll get into it later with probably. I'm thinking either Adam Cole or the Killer Cross match. I did not like either.
Yeah.
The best news on the whole show: they are bringing back the WWE ice cream bar. Now this is something that I can get behind. This is the kind of nostalgia bait that's like, I'm good with it. It's stupid. It's kind of cheesy, but you know what? Wrestling is stupid and kind of cheesy. Just fucking own it.
I think it's just to bury CM Punk even more, that like, oh, the ice cream bars are coming back, but your face isn't on them and never will be. And by the way, you're not welcome here now or ever.
Yeah. Even
Go
though he
fuck
works
yourself.
for Fox now and basically is on their show every week,
But CM Punk's just a huge bitch these days. I've lost a lot of respect for CM Punk. For him to come back to do some backstage WWE show shows that he's just a whore himself, who's just trying to get any last nickel or dime, or any relevancy he can get without having to do anything. He's just a piece of shit. What a stupid business decision.
Basically.
He got murked,
Anyways, moving on to the next match. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Let's see. Bad entrances is what here are my notes verbatim. Dumb entrance, puts character there but not in ring. Post on Twitter, poop joke from the announcers. That's what the announcer said. It was something about posting on Twitter, and they made a poop joke because we're
thank
12.
God I missed that.
Priest is standing there while Balor does his entrance, and then Balor runs across the ring to do a dropkick, kind of like a surprise thing. But he just does it. There's no sneak up, and Priest isn't looking away, so he just kind of sits there and lets himself get dropkicked. Fucking retarded. Shoulder into step spot, just generic WWE out of the ring brawl stuff. It's all every company does it. A lot of these companies are doing walk and brawl stuff and with that, which doesn't work without a crowd at all. I think every company needs to step back and realize, unless you have a creative spot outside of the ring, you need to not do walk and brawl in the crowd stuff because it's not entertaining for us fans. It sucks.
It's no good. They need a crowd to work off of and get the feedback.
A real crowd, because a fake crowd, here in NXT, I've written the notes. Crowd sounds forced, and they're doing their chants and stuff. It's when it's a bunch of people you pay to be there, I don't want to hear chants or anything like that. That sounds fake. It sounds forced. And it just, especially with the plexiglass, the audio just doesn't sound good with the crowd. It's even though they have some there.
I've heard motherfuckers on sports talk radio tell me that they were watching Bundesliga soccer because they're so desperate for sports, and they pipe in the crowd noise, and it's great. They can't even tell the difference. Yeah. Well, I can tell the fucking difference, pal. Anybody with a fucking brain can tell the difference. If it's at the quality that NXT was at tonight, when sports come back, if they try and pipe in crowd noise, it's not going to work.
Well,
I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, the only upside to this, that for these guys, is that they will probably have better production people than either AEW or WWE. So if you get a film crew level, audio guys on the scene, they could probably make a very good, convincing fake crowd noise, and they could probably pipe that in and make it work. But you're dealing with football money here and baseball money. Baseball and football money is a huge difference, and people who work in production for baseball and football are way more experienced than people who work in production for wrestling.
They're top of the line. They're top of the line. They're the best there is.
It might be okay. It might even work for sports, but it's not working here. Well, the thing is, this isn't even piped in crowd noise. It's just they have a crowd there, but the crowd sounds like shit because it's fake. At least the one thing AEW has is they've got a fucking Bart Gunn, Billy Gunn's son, who's an autismo king, who's just shouting in the top of his lungs the entire time. He at least adds a little bit of... He is obviously so autistic you can get behind him, but the rest, these people, I don't know.
I think what's benefiting AEW during this lockdown is they're not taking it as seriously, which normally might be a disadvantage for AEW, but at this point it's not, because, having those moments of levity or at least some moments of joy in the midst of just the total misery of watching wrestling right now, without a crowd, at least there's something there. But this shit, this Finn Balor and Damian Priest match, I just had written plain, basic, generic.
It's very generic. Let's see. I'll go through the rest of my notes here and we'll move on. Crowd sounds forced. He did a good punch, which shouldn't be an exclamation, because back in the day, wrestling, everyone could throw a good punch, and that wasn't a transit. That was just a move you did. But now it's an exclamation because people can't punch well anymore. So whatever. My favorite part of the match. This is the best part. Damian Priest gives Finn Balor the self-rock bottom. The greatest move in professional wrestling. The self-rock bottom. Because, when you want to attack someone, let's drop yourself to the ground and, gently carry them down with you. What a convincing, great move. So dumb.
Just garbage. But I don't know what else to say. Like, it was just a pretty average fucking match.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
the only spots I cared about was the self rock bottom, and then he got kicked and he landed on the apron and it made a funny noise. It made like a when he landed on it, kind of like
there will be people. There will be people out there who will try and tell you this match is like a 4-star, 4.5-star, fucking wonderful match, but it's not. It's like
it's literally it's 2.5. It's dead in the middle. I don't think there was something wrong with it, but it wasn't entertaining, so I can't say it was good. It's like straight in the middle. I don't care either way.
That's what I'm going to give it to. 2.5. Maybe 2 3/4 if you're fucking generous. But in no way is this even like a fucking as good as like a Cody Rhodes and Jungle Boy match from fucking Dynamite last week.
No, it wasn't. And that was the best show match on a pretty bad show from Dynamite too. So just a bad week for wrestling in general. Just a bad week in all. Like things suck. I know we haven't talked about this on air, but I was distracted. Not this match, but starting after, like during the NXT title match, I got distracted because of the news that broke. But whatever. They did an Ico Pro.
Die.
I'm gonna die.
You're gonna die. You're gonna get got, boy.
Ico Pro commercial. They did a parody of an Ico Pro commercial with Adam Cole. Okay. Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
Gargano sucks as a heel. I don't believe him as a character as a heel. Ever since he transitioned, his character has been dead. It was a terrible decision to make him a heel. There was no good reason for it. They have enough heels in the roster. They don't need him to be a heel. The feud in general sucks. Like it's like gimmicky, stupid shit where like they argue with their wives and there's like parody and like they're trying to be funny too hard. It's just really stupid shit.
Well, I'll tell you this. You're right. There is no reason for him to be a heel other than like I hate Johnny Gargano. Like I hate him, and like I want to see him get beat up, and I want to see him lose, and I fucking don't like him. I think he's a big time pussy bitch, and totally just like it, So like for me, it's like he is a heel to me. So fuck it, I don't care if he's a heel or whatever the fuck. I could care less. I hope he goes back to the fucking indies where he belongs. This is one thing about AEW, or it's not AEW, but NXT is, like, some of these motherfuckers, like Gargano, Cole, where are they going to fit in on the main roster? They're not. There's, like, 10 other guys who can do what they do. Do you know what I mean? It's not like only 1 or 2 smart, like, good worker guys. There's tons of these motherfuckers. You got Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke, Sammy.
Sammy's the best example. It's like Sammy should have been an easy win for them on the main roster, but he's fucking nothing now. It's shit. But
I can't tell you how much I liked Sammy in NXT and how much I liked him on the indies, and just I don't give a shit about him anymore because they just fucking treat him like shit. They don't put him on,
and he doesn't have a good character anymore. Like his character's been downgraded every time he's moved brands. El Generico was so much better than Sami Zayn, and NXT Sami Zayn is
he doesn't. Yeah.
But also,
because,
fuck Sami Zayn though in real life because he's a piece of shit. Who supports Black Lives Matter, and anyone who supports him is a piece of shit. So fuck Sami Zayn in real life. But El Generico is.
Speaking of which, on Keith Lee's trunks, wasn't it? Didn't say Black Lives Matter.
I had this written down after the entrances, which had Johnny Gargano's new music sucks too, but Keith Lee has Black Lives Matter on the back of his coat, and pasted right on his big ass, his big fat black ass, is the words Black Lives Matter, with the matter part going straight up into his asshole, where the shitter comes out, right on the starfish.
I thought it was pretty fucking based, to be honest. I actually really like Keith Lee. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's got. I think that there's so many matches I want to see him in. I want to see him face Samoa Joe. I want to see him face like Big E. I want to see him face. There's any number of hosses on the main roster. Otis could be an interesting one.
I'd be okay with. I like Keith Lee as a wrestler a lot, and I did kind of enjoy him as like a personality, but I am going on a path of burning vengeance because it directly affects me. Anyone who supports any of this riot shit, I have to cut out and say, fuck you, buddy. I mean, I suppose he is black, so I'll give him a pass on this.
He's black.
Yeah,
he's black.
It's whatever. I'm not gonna. Although that being said, guess who didn't have anything Black Lives Matter? Motherfucking Velveteen Dream.
Oh,
He had
that's right.
nothing.
What a beauty. What a beauty. He got screwed. He got fucking screwed.
Yeah, that was a
But
shit.
yeah.
Let's see.
But this match, the Gargano Lee match, I didn't think was fucking that bad. I actually thought it was probably the best match of the show.
Probably. I think I would agree with that. I didn't even think it was that good, but it was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. There's some... the one thing that did suck with this was the fake chants from the crowd. That really dragged this match down. If the crowd was just cheering or booing, I'd be okay with it.
Johnny Gargano sucks. Gargano sucks.
Keith Lee, whoop, whoop. Well, when there's not 10,000 people doing a chant, it sounds bad. It sounds stupid.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of people in the room.
It's cringe. But, like, I bought into the false finish with the fucking key to the eye.
Me too.
I thought
that was good.
I thought Gargano was going to win there. I go, oh fuck no! I can't believe they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. And I believed it. And he kicked, and I marked out when he kicked out. I did, and then when he murked him. He beat the shit out of him, pinned him. I thought it was decent. I fucking liked it. But again, it's not like a 5-star fucking match.
No, it's just a good match. It's a good, decent pay-per-view match. It would have been, if it was on another show, I would say it'd be a quality pay-per-view match filler. It was right where it should have been on the card. But as it was the best match on the show, I'm gonna say I don't know, it was okay. The obvious standout point in the match was when he did the pounce into the plexiglass and he like exploded out the other side. That was cool. I gotta admit, that was pretty badass. But also, why do you even have the plexiglass in the first place there if you're just gonna send the wrestlers over? I thought it was supposed to keep the social distancing intact. It's just a fucking gimmick.
It was just a gimmick, but it was a good gimmick, and I liked it. And I think that there's potential in that guy. I think that he should just put him on the main roster already.
I think they're like keeping him in NXT for a little bit longer. I think it'd be stupid to call him up now because there's no crowds. I think he's a guy who would benefit better when they come back with crowds. Probably in he
needs a crowd. He needs a crowd. But this guy can get over, I think, as a baby face, whereas most guys can't. I think this guy could get over as a baby face. It's tough for guys to get over as faces now, but I think he could. But you have to see, because the audience now is so fickle. They'll be behind somebody for fucking 3-6 months, then they get the title or they get the push, and then everybody, I don't want it now.
Yeah, because then you realize that when you see him, very few people work as champion. That's why I will always defend Brock Lesnar, partially because he's Minnesotan like I am, but I'll always defend Brock Lesnar, because say what you want about him, but he does work as a champion, and he works as a championship, as a goal. He works as a storyline champion, whether you like his shit or not. He works. He's like an over dude, and it's just the way things are. Lee wins with the Big Bang Collision, aka the BBC, and Based.
What they should do is put this guy in a team with Lashley where they both have white fillets, and just put them like as full Black Panther, like militia style, dude.
They should. Them and those two an MVP then they should make a new Nation of Domination. Get Mark Henry back.
They won't do it. If they could do something like that, it would get over. If they had crowd. In the South, the crowds would hate it, but in like the black cities, they'd probably be into it. They could have kind of a tweener dynamic going a little bit. But they won't do anything like that.
I'll say this: I don't think it would be a good idea to do something like that right now. I'd probably wait a little bit until this shit blows over. No offense.
Well, you gotta remember, like Muhammad Hassan. Like I thought that was a great fucking idea.
It is a great idea. And it was like 5 years after. It was not too soon. It was based as shit.
Yeah, people just cry about it, right? So like, this is the problem: is like people say, "Oh, we want this wrestling." Well, when you had like more edgy shit, people would complain to the censors and fucking shit like this, right? So this is why you don't get to have nice things, because people are just bitches and fags. It's tough.
It's true. All right, moving on to the NXT title match. I have a bunch of notes here, but I actually didn't write much or watch much of the match.
No.
Because right about when this match aired was when the news broke that the Minneapolis police voted to disband the police department. So I had to look into it. I had to look at the news. Give me a break. Like it was fucking bullshit.
Yeah. No, I mean, holy fuck. This match, like, okay, so I thought, okay, why the fuck is this not on last, for one? Because this is the title match, and, like, I don't care, like, what they want to say. Like,
I'll tell you why it wasn't on last. Because this is pre-taped. None of the rest of the show is pre-taped. The rest of the show was live, from what I can tell. They pre-taped this match and they realized it sucked. And the second I knew it coming out, I realized, oh shit, this is gonna be bad. And they realized this can't go on last because it sucked. It's not entertaining. So we'll pray to God that the women can have a better match than this and put them on last.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that was a lost cause. Well, fuck.
I'll say this. I think if this match ended the show, I think it would have been a worse show. And that's saying how bad this match was, because it just wasn't good in any way. And the women's match, at least when you put it here, you lowered the expectations for it completely.
You're doing like this pre-taped cinematic style match. Like, I want more than what they showed me here. Like, I want the Boneyard match. Like, I want like the Firefly Funhouse style match. You know,
I'll
where
say this is probably the worst of the pre-tape matches that has come out, because the ones that have come out are the Money in the Bank match, Stadium Stampede, Boneyard, Firefly Funhouse, and now this backyard backlot.
To be honest,
match.
I like all of the ones that have happened before this one.
Me too.
I think
I've enjoyed most of them. I know people are split, because some people like the Firefly Funhouse, some people don't. Some people like the Money in the Bank, some people don't. Same thing with the Stadium Stampede. Actually, I think Stadium Stampede and the Boneyard match have been pretty much universally liked, but those other two are hit and miss. But I like those two. I think they're fun.
I think the Firefly Funhouse one is my favorite one, and I think that the people who don't like it are plebeians who don't get it.
I will say this, PPP. You and I don't agree on much. We might even be mortal enemies, but on this case, I 100% agree. The Firefly Funhouse match was fucking keynote. It actually did go into the characters of the people who were on screen. They like added a little bit more depth than what I was used to, and I like that. I'll say this, the follow-up has been pretty weak so far. We haven't seen anything from Cena, and Bray's just kind of around. I want to see Cena in the nether realm of like his psyche being trapped in like this death hellscape, because he's not working right now. Just have him film some vignettes for SmackDown where he's like, where am I? I must discover my true self. Like it's fucking Persona 4 or some shit.
No, I really thought there was so much cool shit that happened in that match, and they failed to capitalize on it. But the thing is, with Bray Wyatt, I just know they're never gonna fucking actually pull the trigger with that guy. I liked Bray before he did this Fiend character. I don't think this Fiend character is the way. I think it's a little bit just too cheesy, maybe, or fucking.
It was
like,
cool. The first entrance at SummerSlam was cool, and I like the contrast of like the children's show. I'm okay with that, but I think the Fiend itself is kind of it's too. I'm not scared by the Fiend. It's not like a scary, threatening thing. Also, this stream is not pre-recorded, guys. I'm just not reading the chat because that's pointless right now. We're reviewing the fucking show. Give me a break.
Yeah. You know, people are just fucking hypercritical. You know, they gotta pounce right on us.
We'll do a Q&A thing at the end here, but right now we're just trying to get through the fucking show.
How could
and if I start answering questions every 5 fucking seconds, we would never get through this whole show. It's bullshit.
Yeah. But just imagine trying to believe that the show is pre-taped when the show, like the actual pay-per-view ended like not even but half an hour ago.
Yeah, like
so
how would it logically we could not have pre-taped this? It doesn't make any sense unless we knew the finishes beforehand, which we don't. We're not in contact with Vince McMahon whatsoever.
No, maybe he'll call us. Maybe we'll bring the real change, Gahool.
Yes.
Maybe.
Here's how you change it, Vince. Step 1: add funny crowd noise. Add a bunch of like horns and air horns and shit into it. Make it kino. Stop filming it like it's a sport and film it like it's a fucking movie. All the time, on television, every week.
Yeah, why not? Like Lucha Underground wasn't bad in the way it presented itself to me. I kind of liked the way it was presented.
Yeah. Oh, you got a bit of an echo.
Yeah, hold on one sec here. Shit, there we go.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, where were we? So we're talking about fucking
NXT title match. We haven't even gotten to this match. This match was the worst of the pre-tape matches by far. It felt. Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember a couple of years ago, right after the Broken Matt Hardy, the Final Deletion episode, when the Bray Wyatt and the New Day did a Final Deletion thing? It felt exactly like that. Where like they had a bunch of cars surrounding this backlot, they had the lights on it, they just hit each other and throw each other and stuff. There's no crazy spots. The craziest spot in this whole match was he fell onto a car and the roof broke and like the windshield broke.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they actually did that stunt, but like shit, dude. The Boneyard match, like AJ got buried alive in the fucking Stadium Stampede. You know, they had like a fucking. There was like 1,000 different things that happened that they couldn't have filmed. They couldn't do that shit live. This they could have done this match in a stadium.
I've seen this match. It was like what, the JBL Batista match, was it, or who was it?
Yeah.
You know, like that's what this was from like 2009 at the Bash or whatever. Like this shit, I've seen it before, and these guys, like, I'm sorry, like I just don't really like. I like Velveteen Dream. I think he could be something, maybe. Like Adam Cole, I don't see as being anybody, and I was just shocked with the outcome. Because Velveteen Dream's been there for 3 years. You figure give him a run with the belt, see what he can do with it, and then put him to the main roster. I mean, he's only 24 years old. But I guess
going to the main roster, my guess. He's probably done in NXT because he can't even challenge for the title anymore.
Yeah. So what are you going to do with him now? Put him in
bring him up, but like I don't think I think they've ruined the guy. I think he was really over. The most he was over was the Mania. Was it fucking, that was 34 New Orleans WrestleMania, that WrestleMania weekend. He was the most over he's ever been, and it's been downhill from there.
Yeah.
And I'll say this.
I don't know what they can do with him because I mean, he's young, so like once again, like not everybody even watches NXT, so like these matches probably don't even matter that much to the main roster perception. Because anybody who's watching this probably already wants Velveteen Dream to succeed. So, like...
It's true.
So, these matches don't even really matter that...
I'll say this, with the main roster audience right now, the only people left watching the main roster are the people who are fucking already hardcores. Like, we're down to the bare minimum of the audience. Like, there's no casual audience left for pro wrestling. They've all gone. They've left. They've flown the coop. You know, well, maybe the only thing is that like AEW maybe might bring some back. They've got a couple of things. Their ratings are basically the same as they were before the pandemic, but that's a maybe, and that's like 5 years down the line. They might get casual fans, but that's a maybe, and I don't believe it's going to happen. So
I don't think it's happening either because there's nobody I can see on their roster now who's going to be a breakthrough star, like a mainstream star. There's nobody. Like, even like somebody like Brian Cage that they've just brought in. Like, Cage, I don't think's good enough on the mic to break through. He's also a little shorter than I'd like him to be.
I mean, that's the idea of putting him with Taz, is to... The one thing that with AEW is that they don't make their guys who are bad on the mic talk. They do give them managers, which is the whole point of a manager. Why do we have, you know, all these people who don't need managers have managers? People who do need managers, they don't fucking have them. It's like, that's what a manager is for. You know, but whatever. I will say sneak quick, but that's fine.
I don't understand. They don't use managers anymore for God knows what fucking reason.
Like,
I mean,
fucking Damian Priest needs a manager. Who else needs a manager? I mean, a lot of guys need a manager, but you know what I'm saying. Fucking Drew McIntyre doesn't need a manager. Drew McIntyre is fine, and babyfaces shouldn't have managers to begin with, but heels should. Any heel who can't talk should have a manager.
Absolutely. You know, like it just gives them another avenue to get heat. You know, it gives them a chance to get over and get disliked. But if you can't talk as a heel, you're kind of fucked. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to go anywhere. So
I agree. Anyways, let's move on with reviewing this match. Adam Cole comes out in a big rig truck. Velveteen Dream has a Lamborghini. That's where the budget for this match went. They bought some cool cars.
Here's the thing. The Lamborghini spot fucking bothered me because I'm supposed to believe that Velveteen Dream on the NXT salary can afford a Lamborghini. Like,
okay. I don't believe that. But even if it was true and he like used his entire paycheck for a year to buy a Lamborghini, why would he buy a yellow one? It's Velveteen Dream. It should be fucking purple. They clearly got someone else's Lamborghini that was yellow and they used it for this spot. And it's like, it's completely stupid. If he bought that Lamborghini, it should be fucking purple. Right? Like, it's stupid.
Well, it's a rented Lamborghini, which, like, there's no point. It's like when Alberto came out with those cars. Like, you knew that they were rented, but at least with him, like, his gimmick was that he was rich, so, like, you could kind of buy it or whatever.
Yeah. His gimmick was he was rich beforehand. Or, like, fucking Ric Flair coming in the private jets or whatever. I mean, he actually did that. So, you know, he lived his gimmick, but...
Yeah, like, this just... To me, is fake, and it takes me out of it because I have a brain.
I will suspend my disbelief and believe that all the wrestlers are fucking filthy rich and they're super successful. But if they are, they should have the Lamborghini should be purple. If it was purple, I would say it was stupid, but I'd buy it. With it being yellow, it's just like Adam Cole is yellow. That's his color. It's like doesn't make any fucking sense. It's ridiculous. Anyways, moving on. Velveteen Dream is in a Walking Dead Negan cosplay, which of course is the character from Tekken, as we all famously know. But that was dumb. Of course, known sexual predator Velveteen Dream getting an NXT title shot merely weeks after drastic evidence has come out that he is a child sexual offender, pedophile. But what can you do? Black Lives Matter, of course, though. So
that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
They immediately start stalling in a cinematic match because that's what I want. I want all my cinematic matches to immediately start with rolling outside and like running away because we're just like everything else.
Can't they just do it like the fucking like martial arts movie or something? Can't we just like ideally? I would like these matches to be like the fight with Roddy Piper and They Live. That's ideally what I want to see.
That'd be the smart thing, or like fucking, Bruce Lee, or I don't even care if you use like special effects and like wire rigging to do fancy moves. I don't care. It's fake. I can believe this is a totally fake match. It's not even happening in front of a crowd. Just go all out. Don't do a real wrestling match. That's stupid. And
if you're gonna do it, go all the way. Do what AEW did with the Stadium Stampede and just say fuck you. If you don't like it, like tune out now. Like. Fuck off.
You had a decent main event already. This is just the extra. If you don't like it, leave. But anyways, their first offensive maneuver they do is a roll up, because in this heated battle of guys who hate each other, they immediately start doing roll ups because that's in character. That makes a ton of sense. That's so good.
The psychology is just piss poor. Like you see this all the time. Like you have like these grudge matches. These guys have like been fucking with their families, their livelihoods, and then the match starts with a collar and elbow tie-up. I can't count the amount of times I've seen that fucking bad psychology. And it's the same thing here again. Like, if it's a blood feud, the fight needs to start with punches. Like, they need to start punching and, like, brawling,
Or it's one thing if it happens. It's always annoying when it happens. But it's somehow worse in these cinematic matches, because it's like, it's a movie fight. Go out and fucking fight each other. I don't want to watch you do wrestling moves. Maybe a couple, but like don't do like holds and shit here. That's for in the actual ring, but
it's not even live. So there's no art to like trying to do the wrestling in a pre-taped way. It's stupid anyway.
Yeah.
So just do the movie fight scene. But this match, it was just piss poor. It was just boring, man. I fucking fell asleep and I fucking woke up for the finish and I discovered that Velveteen Dream had lost. And I was like, what the fuck?
I couldn't even tell you what happened in between, like, a good chunk of this. The part where I really tuned out is they did an Uber joke. Some girl drives up in her car and says, "Is somebody calling Uber?" And it's not a wrestler. It's not a character. It's just an Uber driver comes up and nobody did order an Uber and then it leaves. Now, I'm a staunch Adam Sandler defender. I'm a diehard Jack and Jill fan, okay? But this is exactly like those shitty Adam Sandler jokes, where there's no setup, it makes no sense, and there's not even a punchline. It's just something wacky happens, and then they leave.
Fuck. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I didn't get this match at all. It did nothing for me. It was a total fucking dud, a total flop. I fell asleep. I fucking, was fucked up for the rest of the show because, like, just all, like, the desire and energy to do anything left my body.
Yep.
Just like my soul was not even slowly sucked from my body, but just snatched, quickly snatched my consciousness from me. And I was just put out.
Only spot you missed that interested me at all, because a lot of it was just walking and brawling and throwing trash cans. The Undisputed Era come out to do interference because obviously, of course, it's gonna happen. And then they're throwing chairs around the ring, and one falls over to the side, and then someone reaches from under the ring and grabs the chair. It's like they're like hiding underneath there, and they whop out like it's a horror movie. And then the Roderick Strong goes to lift the apron, and underneath it's Dexter Loomis. That's what the announcers say. It's like, who's that? I've never seen this person before. He wasn't on the last pay-per-view, so who the fuck is this dude?
It's Samuel Shaw from Impact.
Yeah. I don't even know who that is because I'm like out of the loop completely. Just some dude, and it's like I don't know.
No. Samuel Shaw was on Impact like 7 years ago. From my memory, he played this like lunatic dude who escaped from an insane asylum, and he was like stalking Christy Hemme and like following her around and taking pictures. It was kind of a good gimmick, and he had a feud with Mr. Anderson though that wasn't the best, but his character work in it was decent. He was a creepy fucking dude. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with this guy. I haven't seen him in like 7 fucking years.
No, this is not where he debuted. He showed up a couple weeks ago, on television. I think I remember hearing about him, but like I didn't know who it was. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on. Fucking weak sauce is what I wrote. Cole uses Panama Sunrise on a chair for the pin. Okay.
Wonderful.
Bad match. Just a disaster of an attempt to do this. I think this is the first failure of these I've seen, and if they've run out of ideas for these cinematic matches, they need to stop doing them. Point blank.
Yeah.
Because NXT is supposed to be the most creative brand on the WWE roster, and if this is WWE's latest and greatest attempt to do this, they just need to quit now. Otherwise, it's pointless.
I gotta say, I don't think they've put any effort into this at all. I don't know what I don't think they gave a shit about it. Whereas with the other matches, they had people in them that obviously creative cared about. Here, they just obviously don't give a shit about Adam Cole or Velveteen Dream, even though they're fighting for the title. They're not in the main event. Yeah. The match had zero effort fucking put in. Both these guys are probably going to go nowhere on the main roster, so they just don't give a shit, and they just put zero effort in. I mean, if WWE is going to put effort in, I think they can keep doing these matches, at least until the coronavirus ends. After the coronavirus ends, I don't know if this is something that you should do permanently. Maybe every once in a while.
Yeah, but if the story calls for it and you can do it fun, it would actually work better on TV than it would on a pay-per-view. Because I think a television audience would probably respond better to it than a live audience, than a pay-per-view audience. But, I wouldn't do these consistently. But I think they're going to do on every pay-per-view now because they have to do something to keep it entertaining. But if they've run out of ideas, this is what their chance to look at the Stadium Stampede and take the best ideas from that and run with it and say we can do something better, one up them, because that's what it's been. They've all been one upping each other, like fucking Money in the Bank was like they're all just trying to do the best they can with it, and then like NXT they're all one upping each other. So this is their chance to come back and say, hey, fuck you, we can do our best. But if this is what they can do, is their best, fuck off.
I'll tell you this. This show was hyped up to as going to be like a great show. People were saying it was going to be a great show. So I tuned into it, And this doesn't make me want to watch NXT on Wednesday. Like, I don't already watch it. It inspires in me zero confidence to put 2 hours more of my life down a week.
The NXT weekly television has never actually mattered because they always book the pay-per-views to just lead into each other consistently. That's always how they've booked the pay-per-view shows. At least with some of the other like Raw and SmackDown and AEW, there's a reason to watch the television. But NXT specifically has always been they basically expect people to not be watching the television and instead just be watching the pay-per-views. But whatever the case, I hope they got a better idea. And if this NXT is supposed to be the most creative branch of WWE, but I think they might not be anymore because the fucking Money in the Bank match was better than this. I don't think
it's been that way for a long time. Where I felt like NXT
it's probably been at least a year. It's been over a year. I think right after Takeover in New York was a really good show. Which I was there live. It was a really fun, awesome show. Say what you will about Adam Cole, whether you like him or not, but I do a little bit because I'm biased because I'm an indie faggot. We're enough into the stream to break up the bad words now, but I really liked that show. And since then I haven't watched NXT that much, and I haven't been invested in it that much.
I stopped watching probably around the exact same time, but even then my watching of it was sporadic. Like, I haven't felt like this brand was the biggest thing in wrestling for like 3 years.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like, at one time, NXT was the show.
And it was great. And
people thought Triple H was a fucking genius, and they would suck Triple H's penis. Mm-hmm. The days of that are long gone. Well, Dusty Rhodes was a big part of it, wasn't he? He's dead.
Yeah, he's gone. And I think the big thing also is now with this show, especially, it's like, well, so far the the main roster pay per view within the month span was better than this show. Money in the Bank was a better show than this was, and Money in the Bank for most of that show was fucking dog shit up until the Money in the Bank match.
I'll
And I
tell
would
you
say,
this: I only tuned in for the Money in the Bank match and the title match. I didn't watch anything else.
yeah, I
Nothing.
watched the whole show that day because we were doing me and my friends do prediction contests, but not for this show because fuck that. This looked like shit. I'm gonna say this on paper. I thought the show looked like shit, and it was shit. So I'm not surprised. Okay, Killer
Yeah,
Cross versus Tommaso Ciampa. Let's move on because I have nothing else to say about the Battle
yeah.
match. I think
Fuck the title match. Yeah.
Killer Cross versus Tommaso Ciampa. Again, stupid, overly long entrance. These things kill shows. I am sick of seeing them, especially Killer Cross's. When his entrance came out, everyone was like, "It's just so good." I'm watching this and I'm like, this takes too long. This guy's supposed to be like a real, legitimate fighter, and he's like just like sauntering down to the ring, and it takes 5 minutes, and it's like everyone. It's gonna take fucking forever for every show he's on. It's gonna be a whole event. Like your entrance can be overly long and dramatic and exciting on special occasions. Your regular entrance should just be some music that plays so you can run down to the ring and beat a dude up, right? That should be the minimum.
I don't like what they've done with Killer Cross. I really, really don't like what they've done.
Oh, I'm sorry, Karrion Cross.
Yeah, fuck that. That's awful. Like the name alone, they're just gonna kill this guy dead because they've proven again and again and again not to be able to protect these supernatural gimmicks, and over again they kill guys dead who have this style of a gimmick. Like you can count the amount of successes like on like one hand of like the amount of
it's just the Undertaker, and the Undertaker worked before his cool entrance. Kane doesn't even have an overly dramatic entrance. It's just his music comes up and the fire explodes. And he goes, and he walks down to the ring. Like there's no like song and dance where a girl like dances around him and he comes in and his lights flash around and goes ah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what the fate of this guy is going to be is that they're going to totally cuck him like Rusev style and juke Scarlett off of him, and push her
to Keith Lee. Yeah, no, this is us. Let's see. Didn't watch anything of this match. I was distracted because of the news.
So I don't know. I watched this match. It was fine. It was like pretty much a squash match for Killer Cross. Mm-hmm. But like the thing of it is that I actually think these two could have had a good match. Like they honestly could have. Like I've seen both these guys have good matches before. And I wanted to see these guys just kill each other and maybe go 15 minutes and have like a brawl. But that wasn't the story because Killer Cross is just debuting, or Karrion Cross, which is just a shitty name and it's never going to get over. I'll tell you in 6 months, he'll just be Cross. Like fuck.
You should call him KK. Maybe add the extra K on the end.
Oh my God. But no, like it's just shit. It's just shit. And I don't like the entrance. I think a lot of people are sucking it off prematurely because it's not going to be cool in 3 months' time. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with this guy. This guy is he's like in his mid-30s. They need to push him relatively quickly if they're going to get anything out of him. I wish he had went to AEW or stayed in Impact, to be honest, because I don't think he's going to get used right. And I think his relationship is going to get fucked up by Vince's fucking testicular fortitude or whatever,
Yeah. My only comments in this match are Scarlett looks like a whore, and Cross kind of looks like like a more buff but somehow less intimidating Big Show. He's got a Big Show face, Or so you ever see when the Big Show was the New Year's baby that one time? He was in the diaper.
Yeah,
he looks like that Big Show. Where he's just like a guy. And he's got the big forehead and like the little like baby eyes. And he's going like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
So I have no investment in Killer Cross, so I didn't really care. But I'm sure this match was fine for some people. Some people liked it probably.
No, I'm sure like there are people who really liked Killer Cross's run in Impact, and they're probably hyped about it. But like, I'm not, because he had something that was good in that company where he was like a real killer, like a real gimmick where he was taking fuckers out every week, and he had like a real intensity about him. But now it's not going to work.
I'll say this. His gimmick is not he's a killer anymore. He's just a guy who comes to the ring with a sick entrance, apparently. But, like, they're doing that storyline, but they're doing that storyline for El Hijo del Fantasma. Like, he's the guy, he's got, like, the Mexican drug army that, like, kidnaps people and kills them. Like, that's probably the thing is, the most interesting story on NXT television this last couple weeks has been Drake Maverick and Hijo del Fantasma. And they weren't even on this show. Like, why wasn't there a fucking, like, El Hijo del Fantasma match or, like, a reveal for him being, like, this big evil dude storyline? This would have been a great time to do that. But they didn't. They just took the cruiserweight thing out entirely, even though that's what the entire television show has been based around for the last week, apparently, from what I've read of the fucking recaps.
I'll tell you this, man. Like, I haven't read anything about NXT. I'll tell you this. I can't deal with the cruiserweight title. I don't care. I just wish they would get rid of it.
I agree. It's totally stupid, but they've based the entire television around that title for the last, like, 2 months. You know? And if you're going to do that, that's fine, but do something with the story in the pay-per-view then. Don't just leave it out.
No, the Cruiserweight title is never on pay-per-view. The Cruiserweight title is never important. It's never the main event. It's never even fucking anything. You know, it's always relegated to pre-shows or like a show like 205 Live that no one watched. That's like the 9th hour of WWE in a week, you know, that you'd have to watch.
I don't watch 205 Live. And here's the deal. With the Cruiserweight title, I'll say this. The problem with the Cruiserweight title is that it's pointless and it means nothing. However, consistently, some of the best acts in the company are surrounding it. Drake Maverick, fucking Neville when he was fucking king of the Cruiserweights, Austin Aries in his run. Like, a lot of the people that I'm most...
It's all just a waste.
It's a waste. It's wasting them. It's wasting the best acting, the best performances on a meaningless title and a meaningless slot where nobody watches it. You know, like fucking, or like Jordan Devlin or a lot of these guys who are just like, they're basically being relegated to the shit show, even though they have the best storylines in the company. It's stupid, and I don't care long term. But we've got to go on to the main event, the women's main event, of course, as if we haven't had enough of that already. Women's main event. Rhea the Dyke Ripley out first, followed by Io Shirai and Charlotte out last. The announcer was out of sync on my stream, so there was a very noticeable echo during the announcement for the title match. Real professional, guys. Totally professional. Completely great idea.
Awesome.
A Wonder Woman product placement reference, even though that movie isn't coming out this year anymore. Because... Have you noticed that? Have you been to Dairy Queen or, like, gotten a Dorito bag at all in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
There's a fucking Wonder Woman product placement everywhere. It's like, why? It's not coming out this year. You just already manufactured this months ago, and you're like, fuck it, we gotta dump it out somewhere.
Yeah. No, they already did. They had the deal in place with them, like, probably years ahead of time. You know, as soon as the movie went into pre-production, they probably had the endorsements lined up and shit like this, right? So I'm not too surprised, but it's just silly because it's not going to come out. Like, no movies are going to come out this year. None.
All the Netflix movies that were planning to come out will probably still come out, but that's it. Yeah. That's all we have.
Well, movie theaters may never come back. There may never be a movie theater again.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to transition properly to digital only, because even if movie theaters do come back, well, people won't even want to go to them. I mean, drive-ins are operating right now, but the only movies they have to show are old shit, which I would actually be okay with. I'd be okay with going to see, like, a classic film, like, festival at a drive theater. I'd be down for that, because I'm a film buff, but the problem is that they're showing, like, movies from, like, January. They're not showing, like, actual good movies. They're showing, like, fucking movies from, like, this January, like, fucking, like, bullshit. It's like, I don't want to see Trolls World Tour. Fuck you.
No. And I would go if the drive-ins weren't like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me, the nearest fucking one.
That's true.
So it's just not.
The one near me is only a half hour, so I would go to it. But the movies that are showing aren't good, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, this match starts with. Why don't you guess? What do you think this match starts with? They rolled out the ring and stalled.
Every fucking. It's nearly every match this shit happens. You know. This match to me just went. It felt like it was 40 minutes long.
It was a really long match. I mean, I think the Adam Cole match is the longest match on the show, but this one went long too. I'll say this. Luckily, they did put Io and Charlotte in there the longest, and those two are clearly the best out of the three. So it's good that they did most of the match, but that's not saying a lot.
I'm looking at the official times, and this match is supposedly only 17 minutes long. Like, I don't believe that.
I don't believe it. That's bullshit. Maybe 17 minutes bell to bell, but you have to add the entrances and like promo packages and stuff, and that took a long time.
Yeah. You know, the longest match according to the official times is the Keith Lee match, which went 20 minutes. Apparently, Cole and Velveteen Dream only went 14 minutes, 57 seconds, which I don't believe either. I you know, like, that match felt like it was a half hour long.
Yeah.
You know?
But bad moves. Charlotte sucks here. Charlotte versus Io is okay. Bunch of spots, bad execution, bad story. The story is Charlotte's trying to single out the other two away from each other, but then Io throws herself gets thrown to a window and jumps off a roof, and then she pins Rhea for the win.
Yeah. The jumping off the roof spot, like, okay, some people might be impressed, but like, I'm just seeing two people standing there waiting to get jumped on.
You know what? It's even worse than that, actually, because if you look at them while they're brawling, they don't see her. They are not looking at her at all. It's stupid. They have a spotlight shine on her on top of this house, and they don't notice that. They just don't look at it. It's like, how stupid are you two that you don't notice someone's on top of a roof with a spotlight on them, like right next to you? You know, it's like it's
just a disaster. Can you answer this for me? Who is the target audience, like, for Rhea Ripley? Like, who's going to go buy a ticket or a T-shirt for Rhea Ripley?
Bottoms.
Like, you know?
Male wrestling fans who want to get crushed by her thighs.
That's it. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know how many of those there are. I know there's probably more people that are into Iro Shirai. You know, these weird waifu people.
Yeah.
You know? So, like,
Io is one of like the 5 good women's wrestlers in the company. I'll say that. She has a decent gimmick and she can do a wrestling match. She has to have a person to wrestle though. And there is not like, who's she gonna wrestle next? Like, is she gonna wrestle Charlotte again? That's gonna suck. Is she gonna wrestle Rhea? That's gonna suck.
But what blows my mind here is, why are we taking the belt off Charlotte like 2 months in?
So why? She's going off NXT. She's going back to Raw.
Why?
She's leaving NXT. This was just this was a thing to prop the ratings, and it didn't work, so they're bringing her back to Raw. Well, they can use her more.
It's just, what a fucking waste of everybody's time.
And you know, frankly, it's the smart thing to do, because let's look at what's on Raw. The women's division on Raw, it's dead. Asuka's the champion, and her main contender is Nia Jax. That's gonna suck. Like, Nia can't wrestle for shit. Even I don't buy the whole she botches spot things. She just isn't a good wrestler. She's not good to watch. So the Raw women's division has been sacked and destroyed because they pushed Becky to the moon and then she left. And so Shayna's destroyed. There's no one for
put anybody over on the way out. Didn't put anybody over. Just fucking left. Just fucked them.
Well, I'm sure she didn't realize she was pregnant, and then she can't wrestle while she's pregnant. I'll give Becky that.
I'm sure she realized when Seth's unprotected cock went into her fucking vagina what was happening. I'm sure she fucking knew she was trying to get pregnant. You know? Like,
maybe she thought since she was the man, she wouldn't get it.
Fuck. I honestly, I hate the fucking man that is Seth Rollins. Like, the real life person is just a total piece of shit.
Yeah,
just like a total fucking mongoloid retard who like takes nude pictures of his fucking penis there and fucking, you know, just does CrossFit and acts like a total leftist spurg mongoloid. But that's besides the point. You know?
Fuck Seth Rollins. And I'll just say this. I'm okay with Charlotte leaving NXT because she wasn't good there. She didn't have a good run. It was stupid. It wasn't working. So I'm glad she's gone. But the NXT women's division sucks. The Raw women's division sucks. The SmackDown women's division sucks. If they coalesced all the women in the company into one division and only had the good ones there, it could work. But they're spreading it across 3 shows and it doesn't work. It sucks.
Well, they have enough women that they can probably make it work if you're right. If they consolidate it onto one brand and have one title for both shows for the women, it would make the most sense. Having a women's tag team division makes no sense, however. And it
doesn't
needs
make
to go.
sense. It especially doesn't make sense when you have 3 shows that has to be defended across. It doesn't work. It's just retarded. I'm okay with there's actually probably enough talent for them to do women's tag titles and have it work, but there's not for them to do it across 3 shows. And with that being, that just takes the people who are on those shows away, and it's stupid.
I'm almost convinced, you ready for a hot take, that we may as well just abolish tag team wrestling in the WWE.
Yeah. That's
my belief. I couldn't tell you the last time that tag team wrestling actually mattered. Not in my life.
Take. Here's a sizzling hot take you may not even be ready for. I think that they should abolish tag team matches in New Japan too. New Japan's tag division sucks dick too. I'll say this, AEW does know how to push its tag team division pretty well. They do manage to do it.
The best tag team division in the world for the last 20 years has been in TNA.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
even still, they have enough tag teams there, even with their thin roster, that they treat them like tag teams, and they don't just totally bury the fucking guy. They'll put focus on their tag teams. So, like, for me, like, I just don't care about tag team wrestling. Like, every 6-man tag, I just wish never happened. Like,
I'm okay with the 6-man tags on New Japan house shows where they're there to build up the main events and the guys can get in the ring together, but they don't actually beat each other. That's as a filler match to build up to a bigger show on a house show or something. If you're going to televise it, that's fine. That works. As a division in of it, but the thing is, if you do that, it doesn't work as a division in and of itself because it just looks like a cheaper, lesser match than a singles match.
Yeah,
they've pushed the idea of a tag match as a nothing match because they do them all the time to build up to bigger shows. A tag match should still be a legitimate match, as legitimate as a singles match. So
they treat them like they don't matter. So I believe that they don't matter.
They don't
because
matter.
They don't. And
the thing is, with AEW and with TNA, and I'll say with AEW, a couple months ago, they had the tag team champ Scorpio, the SCU pin Chris Jericho, and then that gave Scorpio a world title shot. So that meant that the tag match meant as much as a singles match versus Chris Jericho to world titles. That makes a ton of sense, and it's simple, and the tag match matters. TNA does that shit all the time too. It's just how a tag match should just be as legitimate a match as a regular match, but it's not because people are lazy and they book lazy, and it doesn't matter. So who gives a shit?
Not to mention that the WWE tag team titles are like the worst looking fucking piles of shit. You know,
I think the only thing worse is the TNT title, but even that is like the
TNT title wasn't even finished. Is it even finished yet?
No, it's not finished, but TNT title today looks worse, but when it's finished, it'll probably look better. But yeah, almost all of the tag team titles look like dog shit toys, although a lot of the WWE titles look like dog shit toys too to begin with. So
yeah, I mean, the WWE doesn't have any good looking titles anymore. Like I like the old Intercontinental title. I thought
it sucks.
Yeah, new one sucks.
I don't even North American title a little bit because I like the color of the belt itself. It's kind of like a rustic brown. I kind of like that. That's like the one. Fuck my cheap. I spent. Hold on, I'll be right back. I spent. I spent $20, $20 US plus shipping on this. I'm not sure if you can see it. My cheap belt that I have gotten for my wrestling programs and stuff, my internet show, and it looks better than the new Intercontinental title. It's just some guy doing a suplex, and just a metal plate on it with a couple side plates. And this looks significantly better than either the tag team title and the Intercontinental title, because it doesn't look like cheap shit.
I'm going to tell you this now. I used to think the U.S. title was the ugliest title they had. I think it might be one of the better looking titles now.
It is, because like what's left? Like the fucking big WWE title just looks like a product. It's just literally it's a logo on a belt. The Universal title looks worse because it's somehow the blue looks worse than the red, which is just ridiculous. And fuck, then the North American title looks okay, but the NXT titles, the rest of them look too industrial. They don't look cool. They don't look like trophies. They look like, pieces of scrap metal kind of thing. They don't look good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember like the big gold belt, the world heavyweight belt looked good. Even the old spinner WWE belt, say what you will about it, it looked better than the current fucking belt.
I agree with that.
You know, like it was something.
The belts that The Rock brought out, the predecessor to the current one, where it was like the WWE logo, but it says champion on it and stuff, that one looked pretty alright.
I was okay with that. I was okay with it. And I thought at the time it was an improvement over the spinner. Because I was getting tired of the spinner.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'll say this.
Yeah.
I'll say this. The big gold belt was a WCW belt, so they didn't even design that one. So you can't even give that to them because that's someone else's belt. But more importantly, I was designing a belt for if you actually fought Ralph. If that had actually happened, I was designing the Golden Gunt belt to give to the winner. It was just, it was the image of his Gunt, but like spread across a belt, kind of like the big Goldie, and it's got like a bump mat raised of like the little freckles of his skin. It would have been gorgeous. It would have been amazing, but it didn't happen. So
no, it would have been great. But who knows? It may still happen. I mean, the reality was the timing for negotiation on that is so poor because there's going to be no.
Even happen until Canada opens its borders up, which could be months or even a year from now.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody was just talking out of their ass. You know what I mean? Like it was never going to happen in the next year. But you know, like by this time next year, maybe Ralph will be so broke and so desperate that I'll probably get him for $1,000.
Yes,
and I'll just
we should do a super card. You versus Ralph main event. Me versus Zach on the undercard. Surfer versus Gator, and just have a whole. We have to have the whole fight card. We have to fill it out.
We'd like to see it happen, but you got to remember that Zach isn't ever going to show his face.
It's true. It's true.
You know, he's the cowardly little weasel cowering under the rocks in the darkness. Let me gay off you, PPP. Oh, it is what it is. It is, you know. So we'll have to see. We'll have to get you. Maybe you'll fight Gator. Who knows?
I can kick Gator's ass.
No, I think you would kick Gator's ass. Gator is fucking a bum. You know, he's just a bitch. You know, he's fuck. It is.
I have to fight Anal Vape still. That's gotta be the California Adventure. But that all has to happen later. But we've covered the whole show. Overall, what are your thoughts on the show? Would you say it was bad, good, or it sucked?
I gotta say it sucked. It sucked. And I was excited for it. I was excited for wrestling, you know. I was like, we're gonna do a review show after. I gotta, you know, get into it.
At least for our purposes, it actually probably worked out because a bad show is better to review than a good show. Because it's easier to be negative about shit. But whatever. The show sucked. It was boring. It wasn't fun. I would not recommend.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either. It gets a thumbs down from me. I wouldn't have paid $5 to watch this fucking shit, to be honest.
Ooh, me versus Mark. That'd be a good fight. And you versus Ralph. I'd be down for that. Let's see. Let's take some questions from the chat. We've got a couple of minutes here. We'll go for about 10 minutes of Q&A. Anyone who want to post their Q&A questions now can do it. Guntapalooza, Ralph versus Gahoole versus Markman versus PPP, 4-way dance. I'd be kind of chaotic, but I'd be down for that.
Yeah. One person had suggested that the way to make the Ralph fight happen, because no athletic commission's going to clear us, would be to do it as a professional wrestling spectacle and then have a shoot. Yeah. You know? Which may...
That's basically what I did as my fucking me versus Blissfag fight. And that worked out fine. And even if you don't get an official athletic commission to clear it, just fight out in the middle of the woods. You know? Like, you don't have to be... Just, like, go out to the fucking middle of nowhere. Don't disclose the location. Because you're not going to be able to have fans probably anyways. And just fucking fight in the woods.
This is what I've been saying since the beginning. This was Godwinson's take, was let's just go out into the middle of the woods. Nobody needs to know. We'll pre-tape it, and we'll put it up. Like, you know. How hard can this possibly be? But no, it has to be in Knoxville at this specific stadium with a real MMA promotion.
You know what you should do? You know what you really should do? You should get some guy to get him a gator mask, get the guy the mask gator mask, and just film you fighting this dude in the middle of the woods and call it you versus Gator.
No, it might have to happen.
That would be the.
That's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
Let's skip to who thinks everyone is Zach. I don't think everyone is Zach. I just think Zach is Zach.
Yeah, it's pretty clear to tell when it's him and when it's not. You know.
You know the lore on Zach, right? The Zachary Keith Hasbrook of Stratford, Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
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 All
It
right.
is.
All
It
right.
is.
Why won't you fight Mark Man? Why is Jim Cornette so autismo about wrestling?
He's a grumpy old man. A lot of it I don't think is even real. He will make you believe it's real, so
He's working us all, brother. I believe that. I think most of it's a work.
I don't think he actually gets that upset anymore. Like maybe like 20 years ago he was actually upset. But now he's like, "Oh well, fuck it. I make my money getting angry, so you need to get angry, It is what it is."
Okay, you got to take on the Hanakamura suicide thing because of cyberbullying.
So here's the thing. I didn't know who this person was. I didn't care who this person was.
Mm.
I mean, people are like crying about it. Like there was more posts about this, like death, than like any other wrestling death I've seen. People were treating it like it was Hulk Hogan who had died, and we needed to like show it this much attention and respect. I didn't give a shit. Apparently, she stole some guy's hat on Big Brother and then got bullied into killing herself.
Basically, yeah, that's basically it.
So it was
I
ultimately a good thing.
I saw her at the Ring of Honor Supercard in New York City, and then a couple of years before that at WrestleMania, I saw her show there as well. So I'd seen her wrestle before, and I had seen people thirst post about her on fucking like Woo, HChan Woo and stuff because people were fucking horny for Joshi's on that site. Um, and she was one of the most posted ones because she was one of the younger ones and one of the hotter ones apparently, which is I don't even know how that's possible, but no, she. That being said, she was Stardom's best chance to go mainstream in Japan, and now that she's dead, Stardom is fucked. Stardom as a company is basically done, Dunzo. It's not happening. Um, Rip
I don't know
Joshi.
what was ever happening in the first place, to be honest with you.
Stardom was popular in Japan in the '90s and the what's it called in the mid early 2000s. And they had a couple of successful shows. I think they even did Tokyo Dome shows for a while. But they dropped off a lot recently, and they were good because you would like it's kind of like going to an idol show, but it's pro wrestlers. That's the idea. So it's kind of like for horny men more, um, and they were trying to appeal to more women to come to their shows. And this was she was like the front to do that because she was a famous reality TV star and pro wrestler. And then she killed herself and she killed the company with her.
Oh wow, what a tragic loss. I don't give a shit. I'm almost glad it happened because it sounds like that company deserved to fail.
Yeah. And it almost overshadowed the guy, Shad Crime Time guy's death, which was actually a real tragedy because he saved his son. So that was an actual sad death. I'll give you that. That was bad, but who gives a shit now?
No, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Uh, like the way Anderson fucking non wrestling questions here, but do you disavow Nick Bogus for his cringe Pepe can't stand frog comics, or are they based in red pills?
I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. Does anybody?
PPP, are you familiar with Pete Art? He did a takedown video on Prick Masturbate, which I'm assuming is Dick Masterson.
No, I don't know who it is. I've not seen that. You can send it to me on Twitter at Power of the Truth if you really want me to see it.
Yeah, I haven't been following any of the drama at all because I've been a little bit busy with literally the entire state going to hell the last couple weeks. So I'm out of the loop.
Yeah, nothing much been happening for the last week. It's like the snake apocalypse, I guess, or whatever. But it is what it is. It's all at work anyway.
That's right. Why is that belt so small, buddy? It's because it was the cheapest one available. Gotta save money, brother. All right. You got any closing comments for this show before we sign off?
No, I think it was a good first show. I think we hit all the points we needed to. Pretty shitty fucking NXT show, though. I'm gonna not lie. Like I can't rate it as a good show. I think it's shit. I'm probably not going to tune into the next one unless they actually put something of value together. Fuck.
If there's nothing else happening that night, I'll probably watch it and do a review here just for a review purpose. But as an actual fan, I have no desire to watch NXT now.
No. All right, well that's probably it.
That's fun. We'll hash out what shows we're gonna watch. We'll probably do I was thinking maybe one of us could do Raw and one of us could do SmackDown this week. Like we can split up the duty a little bit.
Yeah.
Like where maybe like we switch off every other week because Raw's 3 and SmackDown's 2, and that's not really fair. And I watch AEW every week already, so I can always review that no matter what. I'm down to do that. But
I also thought what we might do is just do AEW and NXT maybe, and then do the.
And I'll look up the notes of what happened on Raw and SmackDown. Well, actually, next week is fucking Backlash.
Yeah, we'll have to do Backlash next week.
So we don't even have to worry about it for next week. But Backlash is next week. Why are they not spacing these out more? I don't want to watch Backlash now after this show.
Well, a lot of the time there's like 2 pay-per-views a month now. Like, do you notice this? There's like 2, sometimes 3 of these events in a month.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, with AEW, it makes sense that you have 2 or 3 in a month. But with just WWE, I mean, we had fucking Money in the Bank not even a month ago. Now In Your House, and now we're gonna have fucking Backlash already. It's too soon. It's too much too soon.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. The way they structure things, too much content, and it just waters everything down. You know.
Yeah. So. Well, we'll see you next week for Backlash PPP. Thanks for coming. Thanks for doing the show. It was fun. Yeah. It was good to hash the beef out and review some shitty fucking wrestling. God, this sucked.
No, shit. It was a good show. I had a lot of fun. See you in the next.
Right. See you later, PPP. I'll hang up and we'll see ya.
All right, perfect.
Just boop. Minimize window capture. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.